Welcome to Nintendo Dads episode 444, recorded on September 14th, 2023. On tonight's episode, I'm running shotgun with the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Jesse Waldack, and we're going to break down all the Nintendo nerdy news you need to know for the week, and we're going to talk about that Nintendo Direct, plus what is going on with some new potential Joy-Cons, that, and what is happening with the fine folks over at Unity. That and so much more. Jesse, cue the music. Hey folks, what is happening? It's your host today, Mr. Justin Masson, sitting in the host seat, and of course, riding shotgun in the buggy beside me. If it was a motorcycle, it's a sidecar. I got Mr. Jesse Waldack over here in the soundboard. Jesse, what's going on today, pal?
Vroom vroom.
Vroom vroom. Vroom vroom indeed to you, sir.
Which is funny because I talked about it a few months ago. I bought an electric car, so I literally am not used to vroom vroom when I. So yeah, when you made the motorcycle comment, that was the first thing that came into my mind.
Yeah, well, that's okay. Vroom vroom indeed, sir. Hey, it's just you and I today. The other lads are out.
And I asked my son if he wanted to be a third. He goes, no.
All right, well, that's, I mean,
his loss.
That's exactly Matthew's choice, right? That is his loss completely. He is now not on the third most popular Nintendo podcast in the Great White North. You know, I mean, that's a decision that he's made. All right. Of course, we're missing Tim and Marty. Rumor has it, I cannot confirm or deny, that Tim has been abducted by a large pack of beavers that has taken him somewhere undisclosed, and we are only hoping that they will return him as soon as possible. I hear their demands are wood, more wood, and a pack of smokes, but I don't know that for sure. And of course, right now,
did he damn them?
He did damn them. He damned them as much as he could. And then, of course, unfortunately, Marty Estes has slipped in a large puddle of barbecue sauce and is stuck right now, kind of in a weird mud wrestling, slipping side way. He can't get out of this barbecue sauce he's stuck in. We wish him well. We assume when he comes back, he's going to smell like hickory and smoked wood. But man, we wish them both well. It's just you and me today, which means it's not going to be a 4-hour podcast like it was last week, right? Oh my God.
Right.
What happened?
Yeah, I did tell my wife that we had an interview we were recording before doing the show, but the show itself will not be a 3-hour show.
It will not do that. No. And that's a great tease right there, Jesse. For you and I just got off a great interview with Eric from Matt Black Studios. He's got a game called Lucid, which I played when I was over at the Mix 2 weeks ago, that is coming out on Kickstarter on September 18th. I'm going to back it because I loved the game, had a great time. We got about 40-minute interview here with Matt. He talked all things about game design, talked about Lucid a whole lot more, his inspiration for it. It was a fantastic conversation. I loved the time with him. That's going to be released as a bonus episode. We don't want to clog up your feed here and give you another 3-hour episode like we did last week. We are going to release that on Saturday as a bonus episode, similar to the bonus episode we released last week, where I sat down with Jim, VP of Consumer Marketing for Nintendo, and got to have a great conversation with him. So you're getting not just a regular episodes of Nintendo Dads, you're getting bonus episodes because we love you so much. Well, that's a show tonight, folks. Good night. We're out of here. Jesse, what's going on in your world? Anything new and exciting this week?
This will be a quiet weekend. My wife is going on another event. I am not. So it'll be a quiet weekend here. So I might actually be able to get some more time into Sea of Stars.
Mm-hmm. We are going to talk about Sea of Stars and what we've been playing, because you and I have both been playing it. For those of you who are like, what just happened there? I was using that time to eat some nachos while Jesse was talking. I did not finish swallowing them yet, and they're stuck. Podcasting and having a bowl of nachos, folks, it's going to be a real journey tonight. But let's get the journey started, and let's just jump into it, shall we? Because tonight the show is brought to you by Manscaped, but we're going to talk about that later. For now, Jesse, let's jump right into the news. And of course, the news is brought to us by you, our wonderful, amazing folks over at patreon.com/NintendoDads. And if you're a patron, I don't have to remind you, but I'm going to remind you, if you are a patron, even at the $1 a month level for Patreon, you get this entire show ad-free. That's right, ad-free. We send you a feed in your RRS or in Patreon or something. I'm going to be honest, Tim does that, and Jesse does that, and there are no ads, so you don't hear me talking about Manscaped. You don't hear anything else.
It's magic from Justin's point of view.
Everything we do here is magic, from my perspective. I just send emails and get game codes. All right, that's what I do. But yeah, so again, head over to patreon.com/NintendoDads for as little as $1 a month. We appreciate every single person that supports us in what we do. I talked about it recently, came back from Seattle, spent some time meeting Eric over at the Mix as part of this wonderful adventure. This is, again, part of that content. You support us through Patreon. We make relationships, connections. We're able to add additional content. Both those episodes are additional content because of your funding for allowing me to go to PAX, the Mix, and Nintendo Live. So, man, I'm so thankful for that. So I appreciate you. Jesse, let's break into the news today. Nothing really happened for the news this week, right?
Yeah, it was pretty quiet.
Pretty quiet. Yeah, I don't know. What do you want? Anything you want to talk about?
Until Nintendo sent a tweet.
Until Nintendo sent a tweet, right? There you go. I was like, how are we going to find our way there, Jesse? We found our way, and I love you for that. Yeah, the rumored Nintendo Direct, September Nintendo Direct that has occurred for the last 7 years.
The worst kept secret in the history of gaming.
Yeah, exactly. Occurred today. 40-minute direct, actually. That was a pretty hefty size of it as well. Jesse, your reaction. What did you think of it? We can talk about the games, but like in general, how would you grade it?
I think it was an above average one. I don't think it was. I think that I liked the June one or better, or the one that I said was like an A-. So I would probably call this one the B plus.
Yeah, I think a B rating is pretty solid. I definitely walked away. I think Nintendo did a really great job and they were really focused on what they're calling their winter, which is January to March for them. They really sat in that pocket. I think provided some really good.
Well, I would say not just for them. I'd say the calendar says that too.
Yeah, that's a good point, right? But I think listen, in Canada, listen, as a Canadian, we think winter is like October to May. All right. So it's a broad brush for us.
Right. Well, yeah, like when I lived in Minnesota, a September without snow was weird. Mm-hmm. We're in Kansas, we don't get a lot of snow normally until January. Yeah. So winter is relative. So go by the calendars.
That's fair. That's fair. I think they did a really good job, and I was talking to Marty a little bit about this. You know, we have continually heard the rumors of the Switch 2 or Switch Pro or whatever you want to call it, and I think everyone's like, yeah, Nintendo's got to be winding down, right? They definitely they don't got a lot coming, and I think this is whether now rumors are that the next Switch is coming next year. I think this did a really great job of saying like it is coming next year, or they didn't say that, but like. We have still got content. We have still got games on a slate for you. We have got stuff for you to be engaged with.
There are a lot of remakes and remasters going on.
I was going to say, yeah, there are definitely some looking at the back catalog and being like, what can we dust off here to fill in some of the space? And some of those things I'm very excited about. But I think overall they did a really great job of showing that roadmap and getting us a little bit excited for the year to come.
So yeah, I think the Q1 is already going to be a banger.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So let's actually just jump into we've got our docket here, your notes. And again, folks, if you don't know, Jesse does our notes. He does an amazing job. He's got all of the games here, all the dates, everything. Jesse, I don't want to go line by line because this will be a 3-hour session. We don't need to do that. But let's do a little bit of like what were some key games that you want to highlight maybe as we're just going down that list. Also, you start with this. Splatoon 3 is the side order expansion. I thought it actually looked quite compelling. There were definitely some changes that I saw them made. You know, they're talking about hitboxes in there. It actually sounds like you know every run is a little bit different. Are they essentially building a Splatoon roguelite? I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sort of interested in it. You can buy it as a separate standalone, or you can buy it as part of the expansion pass. This is the wave 2 of it, but it definitely got me interested. I will say that. The next game on the list that has me interested, Mario versus Donkey Kong, right? It's not the Donkey Kong game that I wanted, but it's a Donkey Kong game that we got, and I think this looks great.
At first, I wasn't sure if this was a remake of the GBA or something new, but after looking at it again, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is the GBA game remade.
Yeah. It's so funny. I don't know if you remember, Jesse, like a month and a half ago, we were on a show, this show, interestingly enough, where someone said, like,
how that works.
Right. What game do you wish would come to the Switch that isn't there yet? And I said Mario versus Donkey Kong. I said I like those games. I would like for them to come. Sure enough, there it is. There it is. If I don't know if we can go back and find where that clip is in the archive, and we can just like place and do some snipping together. That'd be pretty good. But yeah, I thought this looked great. Graphics look great. It had my attention. I'm excited for it. This is coming out in February 16th. Go ahead.
Trucker Paul says it's always a good direct when there is no Mega Man.
That's good. That's very solid. I like that a lot. I like that. You excited for Mario versus Donkey Kong?
Actually, no. I've kind of never been a fan of that series. I've tried, like, the GBA, the DS, the 3D, and the early 3DS games. I've tried them all, thinking I liked them, and then I'm like, why do I keep buying these? I don't like them. But yeah, so this will be a pass for me. But I can see the appeal of why people like these games.
Yeah. I'm not a big puzzle guy. You know that. I'm not smart like that. I'm not smart like those kind of puzzles that you like there, Jesse. But these kind of games I do like.
Yeah, but and again, a different type of puzzle than, say, a Picross. It exercises a different part of the brain. I don't like these puzzles.
I like the games. I like the games with the Donkey Kong and the puzzles. Those are the things I like. Next game, the highlight is Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I talked about this before when I was at PAX West, and I've got a video up on my reaction as well. I'm excited for this game.
This one I am interested in as well. Again, I remember playing the original Prince of Persia back like the Apple II days. And I don't think I ever finished it because I didn't know what was going on, but I still just liked the animation and how everything flowed. And in case I thought was common knowledge, in case it isn't, I talked about Karateka the last few weeks. This is the original Prince of Persia was basically Karateka's spiritual successor. It was made by the same guy.
That's very cool. Awesome. That's actually very cool. Thank you for sharing that, Jesse. I appreciate that. Next game I'm not a big fan of. Tim was hyped for
Tim will be.
Horizon Chase 2. As a matter of fact, Tim got a copy of Horizon Chase 2 already. He did a Let's Play or first look, and we're going to be publishing it tomorrow on Friday. So if you're like, hey, Horizon Chase 2, I want to know more, check out Tim's Let's Play. It's on our YouTube channel on Friday. Go through the list. Anything else in that area there, Jesse, that you want to stand out and talk about?
Okay, well, I know when I noticed that, like, I was watching your reaction with Marty, and you were all pretty excited and had good energy going on until Spy Anya. And the balloon kind of deflated there, which I figured it would because I didn't think any of you knew what those characters were, or I do. This is based off of the Spy Family anime and manga.
Yeah, no, I was a hard pass on this one. So you're excited for this then, yeah?
I'm not going to get it either, but I'm kind of excited that it's there.
That's fair. Yeah, it might be on a discounter or something when it's a bit stale. Yeah, that's fair. I think I think that's a comment I would say, and again, chatting with Marty about it, was that, like, we are very close to Tokyo Game Show, right? And so I'm not shocked that we're seeing a little bit more JRPGs that were kind of highlighted during the show today. That sort of aligns with a little bit of the marketing that they kind of do a little bit around this. And you kind of saw, like, there'd be 3 games and then JRPG, 3 games, JRPG, right? And you sort of saw that patterning.
And I don't know how well Spy Family is in Japan versus the US, but I imagine it'd be more so.
Yeah.
Just because they will have, like, anime advertisements on buses and trains where we wouldn't see that here. So it's at least that type, just the genre is just more openly accepted by the public.
100%. Going through the rest of going through some more of this here. They did have some more Mario, Super Mario RPG. Again, I think that looks great. I'm excited for that for November. You're excited for that as well, aren't you?
Yes, I am. You guys mentioned in your reaction that the triple attack was something new. Something else
Yeah.
that's also new is, when we do the time button presses. In the original game, it only just increased the damage of your target, but here we'll do that plus do splash damage and do attack everything else as well. So,
That's awesome.
and
I like those little enhancements.
yeah, and then doing that will increase the gauge in the lower left corner, which when full lets you do the triple attack. And they said there'll be different triple attacks animations depending on your party layout.
Nice. Let me ask you this question, right? Because we got 2 Mario games coming out in
Yes.
a very tight frame. Wonder and RPG. Which are you more excited about?
I'd say Wonder, just because I've played RPG before. And you talked about you started to play it during that Retro Rewind,
Yep.
and several years ago, and that was the first time I actually finished it. I've played it several times in the past, but I always got to a stuck point. But for some reason, I got past that stuck point and I did finish it. So yeah, I do want to play it again but it's definitely a lower priority over Wonder.
Okay, that's fair enough. Going down the list, other things that I thought was interesting. Princess Peach Showtime. Showtime showed up, and let me tell you, I for a game that in late June we had a working title.
I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting to see this so soon.
I thought this showed really well, actually. And both Marty and I were like, yeah, this actually, like, this is kind of sold me. I love this idea of like the costumes that are kind of like genres, right? Whether it was they showed fencing, they showed a detective, they showed like a chef, kung fu, right? Like just and how that costume sort of changes the approach to the game. And so I thought that showed really well. And definitely actually kind of had my interest. I went from I don't know, tell me more. And they told me more and really turned me around on it. And so I think it'll be great. And I actually think like looking at the approachability, I think my kids will really like it as well.
Yeah. Ebicel asks, is Showtime the new game or is it another Peach game? Like, no, this is the game that I previously said untitled Peach game.
Yeah.
So
yeah, great call.
Yeah. Yeah. And then backing up a bit, Another Code Recollection.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard of the series before. But apparently I think Arlo said he did, he did, or someone said he did in one of the reactions. But yeah, that's a 2-game bundle. The first one is a remake of Another Code 2 Memories, which was called Trace Memory in North America. This is the first of 2 region name changes. We'll see. Yeah, that was originally done in 2005, so a really early DS game. And then its sequel, Another Code R, A Journey into Lost Memories, which was a 2009 Wii game that didn't make it to North America. It was released in Japan and Europe.
Yeah.
So we get both games in that bundle.
Nice. Moving along through the list, another game that I thought, I want to touch on very briefly. I know Marty was quite excited about it. Tomb Raider 1 through 3 remastered starring Lara Croft. Very interesting. They've remastered Tomb Raiders 1, 2, and 3, and you can actually switch between the original polygon look and a modern visual at any time as well. That's coming out on February 14th as well. And pre-orders are available now with 10% off in at $26.99.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty good price for 3 games.
Yeah, it's not a bad deal at all. Like I was saying that, this is another example of like, hey, can we get remasters and collections on the Switch, right? I'm looking at you, Metal Gear Solid. I'm looking at you, Batman Arkham, right, collection. So,
right.
Yeah. Continuing through a game that I'm not super interested in. Marty was very interested in, and available today was Trombone Champ. Did you see this, Jesse? Trombone Champ.
I did, and I this was a game that came out on PC last year, and in fact, Matt Pat did a game theory video of it back in March. So I linked that video in the Discord. So yeah, there's some lore going on, and and he basically he does spoil the ending by the end of the video. So if you want to play it, don't watch the video if you want to play the game first. But I'm on the fence about whether I want to play this one or not. But it's a cheaper. It's on the cheaper side. It's $15,
Yeah, exactly. Right. And up
and
to four
available
players can
today.
play. Available today.
Oh,
Right.
Matthew said listening to the 4-player version was just horrible to.
Yeah, I thought that sounded pretty horrendous for sure. Let's see. What else? I'm scrolling through here, Jesse. What else do you want to call attention to?
Okay. So yeah, Unicorn Overlord kind of looked like a weird game. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking that reminds me of Vanillaware. And then yeah, they were part of the development team along with Atlas. Crunch, crunch, crunch.
Luigi, yeah, crunch, crunch. I'm trying to do it between your talking. I'm like, yeah. I thought the worst name I've ever heard. Unicorn Overlord.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
It feels like the random name generator won that battle, and it really shouldn't have.
Go AI.
Yeah, they then showed Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. They have that listed as a coming in 2024.
Yeah, and this is the other name change that I mentioned. They dropped the Dark Moon name that we had in North America. Apparently only in North America. It wasn't there anywhere else.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I didn't realize that. They had then talked about a Nintendo museum, which I had absolutely no clue they were actually building one until this was displayed. And I was like,
I remember reading a story about it. I think this was like one of the older Kyoto headquarters before they moved to the new building. And they're just kind of remodeling the inside to be that museum. That they said they plan on having it open to the public by March.
Yeah, that's a good point. It looked. I mean, I'd be, again, I said, Nintendo, I'm not opposed if you want to send the Nintendo dads over to it, and we can just hang out there for a little bit and just chill. I'm DM me, slide into my DMs, and we can book some flights.
Ibisel says they mentioned it 2 or 3 years ago, if he recalls, right?
I don't recall anything, most Ibisel. I have a hard time remembering what I had for dinner last night, so thank you for that. They showed some more amiibo figures coming out as well. Really, Sora being the last one here for the Smash line. That is the final amiibo being added to the collection. Then it will be 2024.
Everybody's finally here.
Everybody's finally here, right? And then the next game, the sort of another kind of worst kept secret of the internet and rumor mill that was spilling over.
I saw this on the rumor like on the faked sheets. And I'm like, no, this can't be real. This is so I was wrong. It was real.
And of course, we're talking about F-Zero 99. I legitimately think Gary Gray was the one that pitched me this idea almost like 5 years ago. And we were talking about 99s, and he's like, there should be an F-Zero game, and there's 99 racers. I was like, that is a dumb idea. And sure it can be. Here it is.
I think so. Tim, someone, I forget who, but someone in our Discord mentioned it in around 2020, and Tim was able to pull up. He did a search and found it in the archives. And
was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I remember, I was like, I've heard this before. Like I remember distinctly hearing someone talking about an F-Zero 99. So it is an NSO subscription required. This is free, totally free to download, available today. Jesse, you got to play a bit with it, did you? Can you tell us about that experience while I eat some nachos and so feel free to talk for about 3 minutes while I eat some nachos, all right?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. So it starts you off with running a series of tutorials that teaches you all the aspects of the game against CPU opponents. I think they have you run I think it starts you off literally, but you're the only car on the track, and then they add a few cars on the final lap to teach you about if other cars collide, they drop these sparks, you collect them, and then you can go up on this higher track and pass people. Okay. After that, they have you go through a course with 25 cars where everyone else is a CPU. Then you got to do a 50, and then you got to do a 99. Once you've completed that, then they'll let you actually go online. And I was able to do 2 online matches. The first one I finished in the mid-teens. The second one I finished like 35th, 36th. So it isn't like Mario 35 where it'll go forever until there's a winner. there is a fixed lap. Once you finish the fourth lap or however many laps there is, it is over, and then you're at whatever rank you are at that time, presuming you survive, because you can still blow up and your game's over. I have not yet blowed up, so I don't know what happens then. But I presume it lets me then. I think it'll show me my ranking, and I can choose to spectate the rest of the race if I choose to.
Yeah.
But I like how it starts the game. Instead of starting you with trying to get 99 people in that starting line, there's like a separate new section of track that's very wide, and with like a bunch of speed ups and with lanes that narrow, so eventually you meet up with all the other cars, and then you hit a ramp that leaps you then onto the main field, where then you cross the start line, and that starts your lap one. So it gives you a little bit of a fighting chance to get ahead early if you can hit the speeds and not hit your opponent cars, as the road narrows from being very wide.
Very cool. Yeah. And of course, if you have the Nintendo Switch, the Super Nintendo controller that you can purchase as part of the Nintendo Switch Online subscription, it works with the game, right? So I'm going to be honest, this is the first time I'm dusting this thing off, and I'll be trying it with it as well. But of course, you can use other controllers also.
I used the Pro controller when I played it, and it works fine.
Yep. Yeah. And we do have a video up on our... Go ahead.
I don't know if this is a game I'll be playing a lot, because I'm kind of not much of an F-Zero fan.
Yeah.
But I'll probably give it a few more runs. Another thing is that it does is, as you earn XP, you earn these tickets, and then you can spend these tickets on a special Grand Prix race, which are on like specifically timed events. I don't know when the next one is, but they said during the first weekend they're going to be like every 30 minutes. But each one costs 3 tickets to do, and you get about a ticket to a ticket and a half per race. So you might have to do 2 or 3 of the normal races to have enough tickets to get into the Grand Prix. They have mini prix, which costs 1 ticket, which, again, I haven't done it yet, but it sounds like it picks 3 random races. You earn points as you go, and then best points wins.
Very cool. That's awesome. Do you think this is a sign that Nintendo is starting to remember that F-Zero is a series and that you should use the IP a bit, or do you think this is just a we'll just one and done?
I think it might be a one and done. I don't know. Like they've heard the outcry of we want F-Zero, so they go, okay, here's F-Zero.
Nice. Yeah.
I don't know if this means that there's going to be anything new later.
That's fair enough. All right. And actually, just before we jump on to some more of the games, I want to just appreciate and shout out some folks that I see us in our chat today. I see Just Being Bruce is here, Ebicel being here. Who else is here? I saw that a couple of moments ago. Ant's Glitch is here. Mikey Dreamer, hey, thanks very much for the subs for the Twitch Prime. Beer Savisa, Trucker Paul, Ebicel I mentioned earlier. And so I asked them, like, what were some games that folks are interested in as well. Mikey Dreamer calls out Trombone Champ as the MVP of the night. That's fantastic stuff there. I appreciate that. Beer Savasa says the Ganon amiibo was pretty sweet looking, and that Mikey Dreamer says the Contra remake looks wild and fun. And Trucker Paul calls out it's not Dan the Diver, it's Dave the Diver. And I was going to talk about that later in my what I've been playing section, but 100% as well. So lots of fantastic comments from there. So folks, keep that coming. Let's go back to run down our direct a little bit here. What's next on your docket, Jesse, that maybe stood out for you as you're running through?
Here's where it gets kind of cold until the end for me. I know there's Mario Kart 8 announced the final some information, not all of information about the final wave of Booster Course Pass. They only mentioned the one new course, but they mentioned 4 new playable characters.
Yep.
So Diddy Kong, Funky Kong, Pauline, and then Peachette. And I actually heard someone say, "Who is Peachette?" I don't remember that one. And I'm like, "Oh, remember Bowsette? Bowsette exists because of Peachette."
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. As I was scrolling through a couple things, I would say, Fatal Tale and Song of Nuno, those are League of Legends stories. And just as an FYI, I find the League of Legends stories are produced really well. They make some pretty solid and quality games. So those ones kind of stood out for me as a little bit.
I'm kind of
Eastwood
surprised
has,
that each one kind of has a different art style and different
yep.
type of game going on.
E-
I
each,
expected them all to be similar.
Yeah, each of the games they've done I think 2 others are very uniquely different. Convergence is one, Ruin King is another, and there's another one. They all have very different art styles, very different approaches, so I think it's cool. Eastward has some DLC coming out in the holiday of 2023. So Eastward was a beautiful pixelated game for the folks over at Chucklefish last year that I thought just did a fantastic job. Really great to see. Dave the Diver. I called this in our predictions. I said we need to get a time on Dave the Diver. Dave the Diver, the demo is out now. I have a video already up on our channel. Dave the Diver is now the most hyped game that I am excited for 2023. Or maybe it's number 2, just below Mario Wonder. Dave the Diver, I'm going to lose my life to. There are so many. It is, you are a diver, and you go fishing for fish, and then you bring them over to a sushi restaurant that you are helping to run as well. And I know that sounds like the dumbest idea ever, but it is so well done. The graphics are amazing. The story is fantastic. It is compelling. It reminds me of, in the similarity is the game Moonlighter, where you were a shopkeeper and you went into a dungeon and you killed the animals and the creatures and looted it, and you came back and you sold the gear that you found in a little shop that you had, and then you used that money to upgrade your shop, upgrade your armor, and upgrade the town. And it was just sort of this
that reminds me of
loot and paying loot.
Yeah, I think the Reciteer, I think, is an old Steam game that I played that kind of did that.
Yeah, Dave the Diver. Check out my playthrough. I finished the demo, and I was upset when the demo was done, and I just love Dave the Diver. I
wanted more.
I wanted more instantly, and I literally reached out to the PR company. I was like, "So when are we doing this here? Like, what's going on?" Dave the Diver, check that one out. I would say I agree with you. The Mario Kart 8 pass, we didn't see really much levels, more playable characters. If you like Among Us, they apparently have a new map, and it's free DLC coming out in October. That's great.
I like the name. I like the name of it.
The Fungal. Yeah, the Fungal indeed. So, okay, here we go. Let's
and then the one more thing.
Yeah, one more thing. Paper Mario and the 1,000-Year Door. Jesse, what do you got here? What are your thoughts?
Yes. All day, yes. That's my game of show.
You tell me why.
Yeah. Well, this has been my favorite Paper Mario. Origami King, I think, came close, but not quite. But this has been my favorite one. And then its follow up was, I think it was Sticker Star, and just went the whole franchise before Origami King was able to bring it back up. Some people say that the Wii U game was good, but I didn't like that one for reasons. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to playing this again. I think I've played through this game 2 or 3 times in the past, like the last time, like on my Wii, in GameCube mode. So this has all new, like all new visuals. All the art assets are new. Like most of the characters now have back sprites, where before I think only Mario, Peach did. Now, so they're all the other characters are always facing forward, even though there's stuff going on behind them. But now they can actually look at what's going on, and we see their backs. Nice. So I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I think this looks great. I have not played it because it was a GameCube game, but everyone is super excited for it. Everyone is pretty well. And this is coming out in 2024. They didn't put a hard date on it, but 2024 as well.
Yeah. I'm kind of expecting this maybe to be a Q3, if not holiday, next year.
I was thinking that too. I was thinking it was a Q3 game for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. Okay.
Auntie's Glitches asks, how do we feel about their new style of sizzle reel at near the end? He felt it was too much of a recap of what we just watched.
Yeah, it was a little bit of it was, and I mean, they even said they're like, we're going to remind you of what's coming up, and you're like, I thought you just did that. I thought you just told
Yeah.
us what was coming.
And they included games that are already released.
Yeah.
So yeah, normally when I do the notes, normally in the sizzle reel, I will put everything in because generally they are just smaller games that need to be talked about, but just hasn't been yet.
Yeah.
But this time was, it was a recap, and so I'm like, okay, I'm not even going to add any of this to the notes.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I don't like it. I like I like their old way of doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Going through the chat here, I want to call it a couple other things here as well. Where I
Evercell
love
says,
where's the ugly or where's the Wario dating sim? Beer Beer Sedacia asks, what kind of nachos am I having? Beer, I'm having a mix of Doritos and Miss Vicky's barbecue kettle chips is what I'm having as well.
hmm.
Evercell
also
asks, does Dave the
says,
Diver allow you to overfish the ocean? I haven't experienced that yet, but it's possible. Maybe, I don't know. What else did Evercell ask?
yeah, buy your custom paper Mario Switch 3 months before we sell you the Switch 2.
Yeah, which only works with the Unity game engine. Ooh, such a good dig. We're going to talk about that in a second as well, Ebbsol. It's great. Overall, I thought this was a great direct or a good direct. I was happy enough with it, and I thought, and actually, maybe there's a question. There is a question that we're going to pull in because it's directly related to the direct. So hold on a second here. I'm going to grab it. That sounds horrible. I'm going to grab it. All right. Warren G. Akers asks, going to go ahead and send this before I see any other directions or opinions. Worst direct ever. That is all. Have a nice day. Warren G. Akers, I am curious, why is that the worst direct ever? What is, and again, and this is the thing about directs or any presentation, is there something in there that you find interesting or joyful, or was it also your expectations were not set accordingly? I like, it wasn't my favorite direct, but there were definitely games that I came out of. I was like, yep, interested for sure. Like, what is it as well? So I'd love to know what was it from his perspective.
Yeah. This direct, I say, hit my average. Normally, there's only 2 or 3 games that I'm interested in playing, and that's probably right here. And then there are another 3 to 5 games that I can see could be a good game. I'm just not personally interested in them. So plenty of that to go around, along with some possible stinkers. But yeah, as I said, this seems to be a pretty good direct. I think the Paper Mario one is the one that kind of blew most people away.
Yeah.
But yeah, before that, I think if it wasn't for that, a lot of people would have been a little bit more stinkerish on the direct. But that one, that one more thing brought it out.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Any other final thoughts on the direct here before we move on to our next topic there, Jesse?
Evercell says, no Metroid, no Picross.
That is correct. Yep. Well, I mean, there's a burning question. We still know nothing of Metroid Prime 4. Nothing of Metroid Prime 4. Also,
yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards what IGN Seth is thinking about Metroid 4.
That's launch on Switch 2.
Yes.
We'll see. Now, here's the other thing. I do not expect we're getting another Nintendo Direct until February. That is where the next big Nintendo Direct is going to be. You might get some kind of announcement at Gamescom. You might get a Nindy Direct. You might get a small partner showcase. You're not getting another mainstream big Direct, I think, until February.
I think this is the last big Switch Nintendo Direct. I think the next time we see a Direct, February or March, we're going to start talking successor.
Ooh. Do you want to bet on this one?
I don't know. The last bet didn't go very well for me.
I know. That's why I know the odds. You want to bet? What do you want to bet here? What do you want to bet?
No, I do not want to bet.
Okay. All right. Well, that's fair. That's fair. But you probably make a good argument too. We may not see one because of that. So it would be interesting. All right. Moving on. Jesse, you're a developer and you kind of understand these questions and things. This week, the wonderful folks over at Unity might have stepped on the rake in their front yard and took one right to the face. Jesse, can you walk us through and explain the whole timeline of what's happening with Unity, what the reaction is, why this is actually quite important for video game developers, and where we are with this?
Yeah, I'm not a game developer, so I've never used any of these middleware engines before, but I kind of still understand the high level of what's going on. So pretty much Unity and Unreal Engine are probably the two biggest middlewares out there. Capcom has RE Engine, and there are a few other ones floating around. Excuse me. So they have, in the past, they've had various pricing depending on, are you just an individual or a single team of people that just wants one license? Okay, they normally charge $2,000 a year for that. Are you a big publisher that would need a dozen licenses or more? Those cost, I think they cost $5,000 per user per year. So already that's adding up for the bigger publishers, but still relatively reasonable for the single team. On Tuesday, they announced that they were going to want to change their billing model starting on January 1st to, in addition to the annual licensing fee that they're already charging, that isn't changing. They want to charge a per install fee of as much as 20 cents per install. And it can go down to like 5/100ths of a cent for those if you're on the enterprise end of things. Which doesn't sound like a lot. Oh, sure. Yeah, it's a $30 game. 20 cents isn't much. But this is 20 cents more per install that they currently aren't charged.
Mm-hmm.
So you add have a million downloads, million installs, that's $200,000. Mm-hmm. That'll add up quick. And this isn't just for new released games in 2024. This is for anything that's already out there. You released a game 5 years ago on Unity, someone downloads it in February, boom, there's a charge. So needless to say, developers are not happy. I have a number of tweets here from various developers that we can go over if we want to. I do have a list of some games that have been released on the Switch that were developed with Unity.
Yeah, let's kind of go over that list. Maybe it's a great opportunity for people to understand.
The list I came up with was Tunic, Hollow Knight, Cuphead, Ori and the Blind Forest, Doom 2016, Cat Quest, Chris Tales, City Skylines, Final Fantasy IX, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. And then on the mobile side, like Genshin Impact is in Unity. Yep. That's everywhere else besides Switch. Pokemon Go is in Unity. So even these free-to-play games that have 10 million downloads, if they were released in 2024 and then had 10 million downloads, that's $2 million.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of so this yesterday morning now, so Wednesday, they tried to backpedal a little bit. I say not very well. So they tried to say that, well, the question is, what if my game is pirated a million times? Which, again, not uncommon, because that happens. They say they'll be able to tell that it's a pirated game and not count toward their total. I wouldn't trust them. I wouldn't. Developers aren't going to trust this. If they're trying to change the terms of service, retroactively like this, they have no trust right now. Someone, I think, I'll go to Aggro Crab's tweet because this leads into the next thing.
I thought this was great.
Guess who has a somewhat highly anticipated game coming to Xbox Game Pass in 2024? That's right, it's us, and a lot of other developers. That means another Crab's Treasure will be free to install for the 25 million Game Pass subscribers. If a fraction of those users download our game, Unity could take a fee that puts an enormous dent in our income and threatens our sustainability of our business. And that's before we even think about sales on other platforms, pirated installs of our game, or even multiple installs by the same user. I effing hate it here.
Yeah,
and so Unity says that they'll be able to tell if it's the same user on the same device and that it won't count. Again, don't know if they're really trusted. Though they did state if the same user downloads the game in multiple devices on one purchase, that does count.
Yeah.
So download it on PC, download it on your Steam Deck, download it to a mobile device, download it to your Switch. You can do, a single person can do 4 or 5 installs depending on the game relatively easily. But so the Game Pass thing, Unity's trying to say that, if it's a Game Pass game, we'll go after Xbox for the fee. And then I just laughed when I read that because Microsoft is going to say, I don't have a contract with you. I owe you nothing.
Correct.
They are not going to sign any contract. They will.
No. and I think the other interesting part of it,
Unity might be able to bully the small developer a little bit. They're not going to bully Microsoft.
No.
Microsoft is normally the one doing the bullying.
Right, exactly. And I'll go to another tweet actually. And so I think, let's say we even just do the math on that. Yes, there's 25 million Game Pass subscribers. The nice part about Game Pass, again, is this idea of since it doesn't cost me anything, I'll just download anyways, right? So yeah, I'll download Aggro Crab. Let's say all 25 million people do it. 20% of 25 million is 5 million, right? So Aggro Crab or whoever would have to pay Unity $5 million because people have downloaded their game. So let's just take a pause there. The folks over at Massive Monster, the folks who did Cult of the Lamb, had this statement I thought was really great. Our team specializes in Unity games. What's the impact on us? We have future projects in the pipeline that were initially planned to be developed in Unity. This change would result in significant delays since our team would need to acquire an entirely new skill set. The introduction of the fees by Unity could pose significant challenges for aspiring developers. Quit being stinky, Unity. And this is a great comment. The statement is listen, if you're not allowing us to use your software or you're creating barriers for us to use your software, we'll use another software. But the conversation there is about skills, right? The skills and assets, the ability to use a different software. It's like learning a different language, learning all the different tools, the tips, the tricks, the trade. So it will significantly delay games coming out. Projects are being worked on. So you may have a staff of 20 people who are Unity experts in it, and all of a sudden you're no longer Unity experts. You need to be experts in it. Hold it, I don't know, the RE engine or whatever it is. Well, guess what? Some of those skills may be transferable, but from a learning perspective, they need to learn a brand new language, right? And the tips of the trade, like how to do that. What's the little things that you can squeeze out of the system, how to bend the platform to do what you want to. This is quite a significant challenge for game developers. And I think the commentary you said earlier, Jesse, was so apt. For the big guys, still there's an impact, right? But they're we'll figure our way around it, right? We have a larger staff. We have more people who have maybe more expertise. We can just kind of redevote and spend some time developing other people. You've got a small team like Aggro Crab or even Massive Monster, that could be no, that's basically our entire production team. So we now have to take people out of production. We're paying them. We need to train them on new things. It is this, and you are, these studios are on razor's thin edges currently as it is to exist, right? And so significant delays in games can cause companies to go bankrupt because they don't have the funding to get there because they have to get to their deadline. They have to get where they want to, right? Agro Crab is scheduled to come out in early 2024, right? Delays like this can be quite significant and really actually do have significant impact to the bottom line.
Yeah, there are a number of developers saying we will delist our game in December on December 31st, just so we don't have to pay Unity fees.
Yeah.
Until they can, build it in Unreal or something else. I mean, and then re-release it.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is a great example. Ebersol says like, hey, and then they blow up on Twitch like Vampire Survivors, and you get punished, right? Like, yeah. Think of some of these games that all of a sudden just like pop out of nowhere, and all of a sudden you're like, listen, I already paid the fee. The fee is my user fee. I pay for you every. It is sort of the idea of saying like, I purchased your hammer and nails and now you owe me some of the building profits. And you're like, well, no, these are the tools of my trade, right?
Yeah, like with it, I am still a registered Apple developer, even though I haven't done anything in 12 years. I still pay the fee every year just to get access to the information. It's only $100 a year, so not a big deal. But that's literally the only charge to me, no matter how big or small I am. It's just the one fee. I can put out one application. I can put out 50 applications. As long as it's in that 12-month calendar year, my license covers it. And then I just get whatever revenue comes in based on it. It's, if Apple switched to that type of thing, you're going to see a lot more Android developers.
Yeah, this is exactly it, right? And I'm sure a lot of development teams right now are sort of saying, who is somewhere else we go with, right? Like this sort of decision can all of a sudden, Unity can be in hot water very quickly in regards to, yeah, you know what? We're canceling our subscription with your platform. We're not renewing next year because we're moving on to something else. We're using a new engine.
I am fully expecting Unity to do more backpedaling, and it'll be amusing to see where this goes, because
where it all shakes out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesse, those are kind of the big news items for the week, hey?
That's what I got.
All right. Well, let's jump into a quick ad break from our sponsors. Hey, folks, Support NINDADS is brought to you by Manscaped. September is here, and I want to take a second to talk about self-care. When it comes to making an impression, proper grooming is essential, and to look and feel your best when you walk into a room. And that's why the sponsor of today's show, Manscaped, are committed to helping men around the world walk and talk with some swagger this season with the best grooming tools on the market. Join the 9 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and enjoy this offer, 20% off and free shipping with the promo code NINDADS, NINDADS, at manscaped.com. And don't neglect your beautiful self and get right this summer with Manscaped. Now, of course, we talk about Manscaped. We're talking about some amazing products. And I'm going to remind you that the sleekest version of yourself from Manscaped has you covered from head to toe, starting with a brand new beard hedge trimmer. Jesse's got the beard hedge trimmer. You wouldn't tell, though, because his beard is looking a little brushy. But it has with one guard and 20 adjustable lengths. So you can have a really long beard like Jesse or really short stubble like I do. The device is perfect.
I do use it for the sides when I do shave. I I do it down to like the lowest setting to get my, this is like almost stubble. 2 weeks of growth here. Yeah, so to get that down, and then I take a traditional electric razor to clean it up.
Well,
I still get use out of it.
Trimmer is the perfect travel companion, fit to take care of your mane whenever you are. Now, also, if we're talking about the next in line, we got to be talking about the Signature Package 4.0, which included is the ultimate grooming bundle, is the star of the show. It is the Lawnmower 4.0, equipped with skin-safe technology to minimize those nicks and cuts in all those sensitive areas as well. And don't forget it's included in the Crop Preserver groin deodorant and Crop Reviver groin spray. And I can tell you with experience that this has taken my confidence in the bedroom to a whole new level. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. All right, get out of here. But hey, folks, if you're getting out of here, head over to manscaped.com. Use that promo code NINDADS, NINDADS, at 20% off and free shipping. Hey, it's never too early to start thinking about how you treat yourself right? The holidays are around the corner. You got people you got to buy gifts for. That promo code works to get gifts. All right. That promo code helps to make people feel better about themselves. So make sure you check it out. Again, big thanks to Manscaped for their continued support of our show. Jesse, let's talk. We got a discussion question. So let's jump in. We got some music for this? Jesse, the question that we got is 2023 one of the best years in video games? What do you think?
I think it's up there. Not sure if it'll beat 2017 yet, but we'll see what happens after Wonder and RPG and the other games come out. But for now, I think it's one of the upper top games. Let me. I forgot to pull this up in advance, but I'm bringing. I maintain a list of future release games, which then once they release, I put them onto another tab, so a list of released games, and already so far there's almost 80 released games that I was tracking.
Wow. That's fantastic. Yeah. I think it's definitely been, and I think not just for Nintendo. I think Nintendo has had a great year, right? I think when you I mean, Metroid remaster was February. Of course, Tears of the Kingdom in May, right? Pikmin 4. Don't forget, we also did have Advanced Wars in there. We had Bayonetta. We're coming up to Wonder, RPG,
Pixel Remaster,
right? There's just so many. So I think Nintendo had a fantastic year. I think the Switch had a really solid year. But of course, when you're looking over the other consoles as well, you've got Spider-Man 2 coming out on October 20th. Starfield just released. Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 16 was released, right? You've got some other great indie hits that have occurred. Dave the Diver is a great example of that. Came out on Steam earlier this year. Hi-Fi Rush came out as well. I think it's just been a tremendous year for gaming. You're just kind of eating well, if you would, and so I think it's a solid year for sure. Like there's no disappointment. I think the end of the year, like big outlets like IGN or the Game Awards or Kind of Funny, I think those conversations around Game of the Year is going to be very challenging for them. I think for us, it's kind of like we're Nintendo. It won't be as challenging for us, I think, as some others. It'll be still interesting to see how it all shakes out. But there are some tremendous, and let's not forget stuff like Baldur's Gate 3. I knew I was forgetting something, right? There are a lot of tremendous games out there. If you were a fan of video games this year, you are eating well. And so I don't know what else, Jesse, any of the games that stood out for you?
Trying to going through the list. Again, Tears of the Kingdom is definitely one that's up there for me. Persona 4, Persona 3 came out, but it didn't click with me this time around, mainly because I knew, the rumor was Persona 3 was getting a remake, and now we know it's actually happening. So that might be, that'll be a good game to play next year. What else is in here? Yeah, Oxenfree 2, Pikmin 4. That one's going to be up there for me. Like 30XDX was one for Marty. And Sea of Stars, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of good games that have come out, and as we mentioned, games that will be coming out still.
Yeah, there's a lot that's still going to be coming out, and so it's I think it's just been a fantastic year for gaming, right? So yeah, it's really been wonderful. So
we're finally going to get Minico's Night Market in a few weeks.
Yeah, finally, right? How many times have we seen that in a Nintendo Direct? Right?
Yeah, that's been out there for 4 or 5 years.
Cocoon is another one that comes out right around that time too from Annapurna Interactive. That's caught my attention for sure. Yeah, so great question. But I think 2017 was a good year.
Hogwarts Legacy was another game that
another one, right?
That will be on Switch by the end of the year.
Yeah, we'll see about that one. We'll see how that pieces together. All right, let's.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's going to be good. I'm just saying it's getting released. We will find out.
I should not have swallowed that ice. All right. Well, great question. Let us know, folks, in the comments below. What do you think is your or is the best year of gaming that you've ever experienced? And let me know why also. Jesse, you're talking about 2017, of course, Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, right? We had Splatoon 2, we had ARMS. Nintendo came swinging out of the gate in regards to, but I think this is one of the first years that we've seen a lot of just alignment from all three, right? Usually someone's having a down year, right? And I would argue that Xbox is still not having a great year. They're having an okay year.
Yeah, they had a release.
Yeah, they had a release, and it appears to be very well, and it's a big game, right? And so you start having those conversations about game of the year, like, yeah, Starfield was massive for them. Redfall did not handle as well as they wanted it to. They've got they got a racing game on the horizon somewhere, right? So
they have the Forza games.
Yeah, Halo never hit the way they wanted it to. They're still trying to find their footing a little bit, I think, but obviously Starfield being absolutely a banger for them and massive. So yeah, I feel like there's obviously some PlayStation games we also missed as well.
Probably.
All right, let's jump into our events, shall we? All right, folks. Quick reminder of some of the events we have going on in the Nintendo Dads community for you to be aware of. We have the Discord community events. We're starting off with the table, and this every third Friday of the month at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The community gets together at the table, otherwise known as the Discord voice chat room, to discuss whatever's on our mind. Why don't you join in? And you can do that by subscribing to Patreon or Twitch, get access to our Discord, and join in on a schwack load of events like the table and monthly mayhem.
And that will be tonight if you're listening to this on the first day this podcast drops.
Oh, yeah. So that's the end.
This is week 3.
That's very perfect of it. Those fine gentlemen over at the Dads After Dark events, they got a couple that you need to be aware of. In September, it's leave a new or updated Apple review for the Dads After Dark show, and you'll be entered to win one of two $20 eShop gift cards. Plus, if you use the name Bob Barkley, in your written review, your prize will be upgraded to a $35 eShop gift card. In October, they've got the 3rd annual Halloween Mayhem, and in November, it is the monthly Mayhem announcement you're going to watch for. December, they're doing the 2nd annual Presents After Dark. This is a Secret Santa Club that we do here at the Nintendo Dads HQ. And then on January, Chubby Bracket Round 2. Who got fat again? Boy, ladies and gentlemen, it's back at it like a bad habit. They're going to help you get in shape and ready for swimsuit season, Hot Dad Summer in 2024. Our fine folks over at Retro Logic, we got lots going over on Retro Logic, and my screen just froze and I couldn't scroll. And I was like, I don't know what to do. But what they're saying is play some Metroid Fusion. Submit your fastest completion time by September 18th to win a $10 eShop gift card of your choice. And you want to share your memories, experience of this game with the world? Well, join Retro Logic's DatFast John for an episode of On Topic Retro to be recorded on September 19th. Just DM DatFast for more details. And ladies and gentlemen, Extra Life 2023 is right around the corner. And here over at Nintendo Dads HQ, we have got whiteboards with drawings all over it. We have got brainstorming sessions going on, and we are in the planning stages for what our Extra Life 2023 campaign is going to look like. Spoiler alert, we're not all going to be in the same room, and we're not going to be in New York this time. But we're excited to, of course, be supporting it as well and get our team up and running. So let's keep tuned in for more information on that as well. That's what's happening over in our community. Jesse, let's head over to the timeout, which is formerly Jesse's minute. I didn't read the notes beforehand, and I just saw the topic that you put down, and I was like, what are we doing with our life here? But Jesse, what is the timeout for?
Oh, yeah. So in general, we want to talk about something outside of gaming or outside of Nintendo. And the topic I wanted to bring was a sports massage. I had one earlier this week, and let me talk about it a little bit. So I've had other massages like the Massage Envy, this relaxing type of massage, and I normally end up falling asleep in the middle of it because this is not that. So So the guy who did the massage is also from the SCA, is a friend of my wife, and she's the one who recommended that I see him. He he is tall, looks like Jason Momoa, actually does Aquaman cosplays for children's hospitals and stuff. So, but and he is just as funny as the real Jason Momoa. So we had a lot to talk about. But what a sports massage does, the way he describes it is, throughout years of just uh, bad posture and just not treating your body well, your muscles kind of and tendons kind of twist up and with it inside your skin.
Right.
So, which leads to, my shoulder hurts when I do this, or my back hurts when I bend this way, or my feet hurt when I walk a lot, where it shouldn't be doing that, right? So basically, he kind of works his way down the muscle groups, unwinding the pretzel inside your body.
Okay.
So to actually make everything line up the way it's supposed to be lined up, and yeah, it hurts. But he had. So there were several times when I would and he goes, "Is that too much?" I'm like, "No, not too much. Keep going. I'm okay with this. It's just he caught something that was really knotted up, and he could feel it. I could feel it." But at the end, I think my shoulders and legs are felt pretty good. And actually, in fact, he didn't have the time to do everything he said he wanted to do, and so I have another appointment scheduled with him next Friday to have another round at it to see. Hopefully, that actually helps my back and legs. But he most of the time was spent in my arms and shoulders. Because I told him that I told him about that I started doing archery again, and so he kind of knew what to look for and of what needed to be done. And my arms feel great now. So if so, I would recommend, if you're having weird pains you don't think you should have, check out a sports massage therapist. And yeah, it's definitely an experience, but I think it's helped me at the end.
Nice. And folks, while you're there at the sports massage, make sure you use the promo code NINDADS for 20% off and free shipping. Just see what will happen. Just be like, I've got a promo code. It's called NINDADS, and just spell it out for them. That's all. Just see what happens. And I would love to see some reactions to this. Well, very cool. That's good. I'm glad that you're finding a way to mind yourself and mind your body. And I usually just say everything just hurts because I'm old, right? I'm just getting that age where things just hurt, and I just assume that. So that's cool. I've got my timeout. What's my timeout? My timeout. Jesse, I will give you 3 topics, and you get to choose one. How's that sound? It's like dealer's choice. Ready?
Ooh.
I'll just give you short, like, headlines for it.
Okay.
Oktoberfest, dog's pink eye, kids going back to school.
Let's do the kids to school.
Okay.
For 100, Alex.
All right. Kids to school for 100. All right. So yeah, my kids are back at it like a bad habit, as most kids probably are. If you have kids at school. So yeah, my daughters are in grade 8 and grade 10. And so it's been a real struggle to kind of find them back at their routines. I'm excited for them to be doing it. Routine is so important. But for the last week, because school's been only going on here in my area for about a week now, they're still like adapting to like getting up and moving around and kind of finding that routine and going to bed at like appropriate hours. So it's been a real it's struggle. And the amount of times that like my oldest really slow rolls herself to bed, it's like now at 10 o'clock, when we've told you to go to bed half an hour ago, now is when you want to have a really in-depth conversation about your day at school and what you learned and everything you did. And you're just delaying it. And it's driving me absolutely bonkers, because I also need to go to bed, and it's crazy. And I just want them to like find a routine and stick into it. And the other part is the routines are changing now, because my oldest daughter, she has a part-time job now. she's working at the hockey arena in the concession. So now we're starting to like build
Ooh.
that into her schedule. And so it's just a lot of like interesting changes and things that they're going through. And so
Concessions jobs are such a good jobs for teens.
yeah, exactly. I was kind of also hoping, I was like, so do we get like free fries or something? Free poutine, right? We're not getting. They're like, she's like, I get a discount. I was like, well, I don't want a discount. I want free fries, right? So yeah, it's gonna be exciting. It's her first shift is on Saturday, so I'm excited for her. They did some hiring, like a job fair at the local hockey arena, and so that was great. So she's got a job, and it's gonna be her kind of first job where she has to has taxes and gets a paycheck and well direct deposit and all that kind of stuff, and has a uniform and has to have a schedule, and so it'll be a good learning opportunity for her, and I'm excited for her to be jumping into that. And yeah, when next time she says I want some new something, I can say you work now, understand how this works, and you can pay for more of it. And that transition,
See,
right? To
that's
be
the
more
that's the fun
independent.
part. That's the fun
Yeah,
part
and you
as
can
a parent.
stop stealing my AirPods, and you can get your own. So that's nice. Yeah. I'll give you my like other quick headlines for the things I did. I went to Oktoberfest here in Lethbridge, and it was a lot of fun. Drank some good German beer, and it was expensive, but it was good. And my dog had pink eye this week, and so that was weird.
That was less good.
It was less good, but it's better now. We're happy. I still got to go
Right.
to the vet on Friday to double check. But hey, that is sort of our timeout, which is the thing that I have. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Cool. Let's jump into what is the next thing we're doing here, Jesse. I'm all over the map here, Jesse. What have we been playing? There it is. Jesse.
Okay. Yeah. So since we didn't do this segment last week, so I've got stuff from 2 weeks to talk about real quick. So I played more Final Fantasy VI. I did do a stream of the Opera House scene, which, as I said, my favorite scene in all of gaming. And then after the stream, I did it again and did a commentary-free recording, and then cut out the battles sequences in the middle. So it's about like a 10-minute, almost like a 10-minute movie to sit to watch, which starts with the Opera House song. That again, my favorite song of any game of all time. So give that one a listen. So and then I finished the Making of Karateka. I've finished all of the documentary parts. When I last talked about it, that was had one chapter left, and that chapter was kind of what might have been its sequel, Karateka 2. There was some emails back and forth between him and Broderbund and about ideas, and then on he had a scene set up with the woman from Karateka on the map, with a multi-layer thing, and which eventually, as I said earlier in the show, evolved into what became Prince of Persia. So, and they kind of hinted that, okay, but that's a documentary for another time. So I don't know if they're going to do a documentary, a making of Prince of Persia. I kind of hope they do, but it'll be interesting to see. And then I'd be interested in knowing, when did Ubisoft get the license? When they did the games in the 2000s.
That's a good question.
So maybe that'll be part of that alleged documentary.
Yep. Cool.
Okay. I tried Starfield. And my history with Bethesda games is I have never played one more than an hour.
Yep.
That record stands. Like,
fair enough.
Oblivion,
Not
I
a
got
Jesse game.
Not a Jesse game. I tried Oblivion on the PS3. I did the tutorial cave, got outside, had Patrick Stewart talk to me, really close cameras, the way they do. And then, okay, I'm outside. What do I do now? I don't know. So I shut it down. I tried like Fallout 3, Fallout 4, didn't get far in them. I did the opening sequence of Starfield, and this game doesn't explain a damn thing. So like there was one section in maybe 20 minutes in where we are leaving the building we're in, which which is an airlock. So before she opens the door, we have to have our helmets on. So they said, "Okay, put your helmet on." I'm like, "Okay." It took me 5 minutes to figure out how to do that.
Oh no!
Going through menus. So eventually, I did figure that out. So we went outside, did the shooty part of the this is how you shoot the gun tutorial, and then more story, which ends up with, okay, the guy just gave me his ship, so the the ship is now in orbit, and it gives me a tutorial of how to pilot a ship, and I'm like, I don't understand a word this is saying, and that's when I shut it down.
Nice.
So I can say I tried it, but it's I don't have the patience to try to figure out how to fly a ship. So after that, I did start CSRs finally. I started that this weekend.
Okay,
so I am still early. I'm only about 2 hours in.
Yep.
They say that the big inspirations for this game is Chrono Trigger and Mario RPG. You can tell Mario RPG with the, pushing A at the right time to have more damage done. With Chrono Trigger, part of the thing they took from that is the fights happen on map.
Yeah.
There's no loading screens. It just happens there. Another thing that they did, the first boss is pretty much the final boss of Chrono Trigger with more colors.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay. If you know Lavos, you know what that looks like. You know what CSR's first boss looks like.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I saw that and I'm like, oh yeah, inspiration, my ass.
Yeah. I've been playing Sea of Stars also. I took a bit of a break and I'll talk about that in my section as well. I've really enjoyed it. I'm about 6 to 8 hours in. I find it compelling. I find the levels design, like the environment's really engaging. I find the kind of the puzzles that are in there interesting. When you go into a room or a puzzle, you're like, okay, there's something here I can't do, and I know I have to, get a special ability to solve it. I find the writing actually pretty good as well. I'm really digging it. Actually, it's going to be in my top 5, I think, for sure. So I've really enjoyed my time with Sea of Stars, and again, I'm not a huge RPG fan, but it's got that right secret sauce, and I knew it did early on when I played the demo a couple of months ago. And so I'm loving my moments of it. I'm hoping that maybe you stick with it a bit longer. Sort of odd for me to like an RPG and you not to like an RPG.
Yeah,
but I hope that you stick with it a bit.
There isn't anything I've not liked. It's just it hasn't grabbed me. Yeah. So this is something. It is something I want to keep playing.
Yeah, and it could be just like right now. You're just not in the season for it right now, right? We need to get you a pick cross game or something, and then you can come back to it. I don't know, like
maybe.
But
so the one thing I do like about it, and again, it's another Mario RPG inspiration. They have these badges you can get and equip optionally. Yep. To make the game easier or harder as you see fit.
Yeah.
So like the first 2 the game throws at you is, one will give you better visual clues if you did the attack and defense bonuses right. Like if you did, you'll get these fireworks things fire off. And okay, that's cool. I like that. I enabled that. The other one, what kind of gives it an instant easy mode, and I've enabled that too. It doubles your hit points and refreshes your hit points between battles.
Does it give you double the hit points? I know it refreshes. I didn't think it gave you double.
Yeah, it doubles your HP. So you go from 50 to 100.
Interesting. Okay. Because I have that enabled as well, and I didn't think my hit points went up.
Yeah. Unless maybe it is a different badge.
I thought it was every time. Every time you finish a battle, you get full life again. Like that, I'm like, yeah, I'm all about that. But I'm still also dying at times too, or not like my party members are still dying, and I still need support. You still need to manage your kind of in-game support. So, oh, very cool. I'd say Sea Stars, check it out. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah. So I think I got, so I mentioned the tutorial boss, and then there's like the first big boss after that I got past, and that's when I saved it to try to play F-Zero earlier today. So yeah, hopefully I'll get more time this weekend to see how far I can get.
Nice. And you did mention you'd played F-099. Is there anything else you wanted to add to that? Or are you good?
No, I think I talked to everything I needed to talk about on that.
Cool. Nice. Right on. I've been playing Sea of Stars, as kind of mentioned there. Dave the Diver, which I've already talked about, which I absolutely love. A couple weeks ago, Fae Farm had an opportunity. I put an hour-long playthrough on our YouTube channel for that as well, and that is such a lovely mix between Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley. My youngest daughter, I knew she'd really like it, so I handed that to her, and she's been putting a ton of time into it as well. So if you're looking for a good cozy game, Fae Farm has got you covered. I definitely say check that one out. The other game I've been playing this week, we were fortunate enough late last week to get a copy of Gunbrella. And I had an opportunity to actually finish the entire game. You can see both what I would call is our top 3 tips that you need to have for playing Gunbrella, my review, and a first 15-minute look at Gunbrella, all on our YouTube channel right now as well. But I really enjoyed my time with Gunbrella. Comes in at, they said 6 to 8 hour game. I clocked in, I think, somewhere around 7-ish hours. Unfortunately, there isn't an actual time clock that's showing how long, so I had to kind of estimate how many hours I'd put in and when I put it in to figure it out. I love the art style, some really great storytelling with some simple environmental cues. The gameplay or the gunplay, like the combat, feels really great with the actual Gunbrella. Some great kind of callbacks of feeling like you've kind of got that DuckTales bouncing pogo stick time, and then kind of zipping through the air as the parasol pulls you, and then you kind of float and loft. And then the Gunbrella itself has different type of ammo that you can have. So there's a flamethrower associated with it. There is a saw that you can shoot out of it. There's a grenade. There's all kinds of mines as well. So lots of functionality with the Gunbrella. And it works as kind of a defensive shield as well. Some great character moments, some really well done storytelling beats, a compelling story that actually kind of keeps you moving. You want to find out what's going on, kind of an emotional story at times as well, actually. And it's not just a straight platform, shooter, right? There are puzzles that you've got to solve. There are people that you've got to identify. There are access cards you've got to find because you have to complete a certain task. To be able to do that. Level design is really smart as well. And the enemy bosses are hard, but when you die, you get back very quickly. So you're able to kind of learn and cycle and the tricks to do it. There's usually kind of almost I wouldn't say cheesing a spot, but okay, if I stand here and I jump up and I shoot it forward and then I instantly put my Gunbrella up, I don't lose any life. And so there's sort of if I do these 2 or 3 steps right here, I'll be okay to live. There's some of those things. Really frequent checkpoints as well along the way, so it helps you to be able to continually save and go in. I would highly recommend it. One of the other tricks, though, when you go into the game, is the first level they set you off on, when you set your difficulty, hard is the first one. It's hard, normal, easy. I completed it in easy, and I went back and shot some footage in hard as well. But Gunbrella is definitely worth your time. If you're maybe questioning it's on the fence, there is a demo out available for you to check it out. But I would highly recommend Gunbrella. I had a great time with it, and I think you might as well. Jesse, those are the games that we've been playing. Let's move on to our community spotlight. All right, Jesse, we do got a couple questions I want to jump into. Now, actually, one just came in our DMs a couple minutes before we went live, and I want to go to it first so I don't miss it. All right.
All right.
This one comes from Funchy Bunch, and he says, hey, I've actually got a question to ask you. I am getting married this weekend, so congratulations.
Congratulations.
First and foremost. And was wondering if you guys could give any advice or stories of your wedding days, if you have any, that is. Can't wait. Can't watch y'all at this moment, but I'm actually watching the direct with my fiance. Well, there you go. You're making a right choice already if they're watching the direct with you. She didn't want me to watch it without her, so I had to wait for her to get home. Can't wait to listen to your thoughts on the direct. Marriage advice and stories. Man, Jesse, how long have you been married for?
It'll be 15 years in a few weeks.
Congratulations. That's fantastic. That's wonderful. My wife and I are celebrating our 20-year wedding anniversary in August of next year, and actually going to Hawaii this coming February as part of our celebration for 2 weeks. So we're super excited about that. What is my marriage advice? Communicate, I would say, right? Always talk, always be communicating. Yeah, like little things as well, right? Whether it's just sending a text, being like, "Hey, I'm thinking of you." You know, always put time and energy into your relationship, right? Like it is the most important, one of the most important relationships you have. And so you got to put time and energy into it every single time, right? So communicate, be engaged with them, um, like spend time together in things that you enjoy together, make space for each other, right? Be deliberate about your time together, right? So like, hey, let's plan a movie, let's go together, do these things. And I think especially, I don't know about you, Jesse, but I find like sometimes as a parent, those are the things that I very much forget. And my kids are now like at an age where they're doing their own independent things. And so Jody and I are kind of this really interesting stage of kind of coming back as husband and wife and being like, oh, yeah, hey, I know you, right? Like, oh, good to see you again. It's been like 10 years because we've been raising children. I was like, oh my gosh. But like this weekend, our kids stayed home, and Jody and I and another couple, we went to Oktoberfest here and had a great time. And all of a sudden you're kind of like, it's almost sort of like you're back in this dating phase again of like, oh my gosh, it's you. And these are amazing things that we do together. So I don't know, just love each other, support each other, be kind, be gracious, forgive. I don't know, just that'd be my advice as marriage. Jesse, what do you got?
Yeah, so I would say every couple's different. So what I'm going to say, grain of salt. But again, I said 15 years. This is my second marriage. My first marriage did last 7 years before things went belly up. I would say, yeah, do things together, obviously, but also be able to do things by yourself and not, you know, not feel that you're worried about your wife or make your wife worried about you with whatever your non-spouse hobby is. That kind of part of the problem with my first marriage. She was very, I need to be everywhere. And I'm like, you do not need to be everywhere with me right now. But with my my current marriage, yeah, the youngest kid graduated high school 2020. So then moved out of the house. The only kid still in the house is my son, but again, he's 23. He can do whatever the hell he wants. I really don't care. He can take care of himself. He just, he pays me rent. So it's not like, it's not like he's doing that. He's getting, I can't talk. It's not like he's not doing anything. He helps around the house. He does the dishes if we ask. He does so things like that. But again, he is paying rent. So I just kind of, he does, well, let him do what he wants to do. Yeah. So like so we both work for the same company. We both work from home. She's upstairs, I'm downstairs, so we don't see each other during the day a lot. And then she does her arts and sciences stuff. She's got multiple projects going on. I'm down here playing games, podcasting. Yep. So again, during the even after hours, we don't see a lot of each other. So Friday evenings and weekends is when she's not out eventing, is when we have our time together. So we still find time together, but we also find time apart and are both okay with it.
Yeah, those are great. Yeah, every couple's a bit different, right? And so Funchy Bunch, man, congratulations to you. I wish you nothing but success and love, and that's awesome. And so Yeah, congratulations to you. It is a journey. So this is the dad's marriage corner advice. This is the second week in a row, Jesse. We've been asked to give some sort of marriage love advice, and I'm starting to get concerned about what our show is turning into. Right, that we are looked at as sort of like a Dr. Sue marriage love line of advice. Of course, I kid, but yeah,
Well,
congratulations.
which again, which reminds me of, and I'm not going to repeat it here, but I can say, I might say it in the post show. When you approached me with the concept of this show, I gave the pitch to my wife, and then she replied with what she would recommend as a slogan. And I think I've said it to you before.
I think you have,
but
yeah,
I'll save it at that, since
it's post show. Yeah, so
it's
you're,
not
you're in post show. It's not
not family friendly.
No, exactly, right. But yeah, congratulations. So glad that you could share that with you. So thank you for sharing that with our community. I love that. Let's move on to a couple other questions. Oh, my computer is lagging. You're kidding me here right now. Hold on a second here.
It was almost over. Don't die yet.
Yeah, I know, right? You can do it. From Mikey Burgett. Mikey sent in a photo of Mario Wonder. Receive a free trading pack card when you pre-order Super Mario Brothers Wonder. I think it's at Walmart. Yeah, as you can see, Walmart has their pre-order for Super Mario is giving away a trading pack that randomly has an elephant Mario card limited to 1,000. Does this mean you want to does this make you want to prioritize pre-ordering with Walmart? And how much of the secondary market do you think elephant Mario cards will go for? I do not pre-order based on swag giveaways. I like when I do pre-order a game, I typically actually go to GameStop or EB Games, whatever it is where you are. And they usually give out something, but it's not my motivator. I don't know if I don't know. There may be a black market for or a market for these 1,000 cards, right? It's anytime you say it's limited and it's a Nintendo thing, of course there's gonna be scalpers in a market for it. So yeah, you're gonna get something for sure here.
It prioritizes me away from Walmart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want any part of that. So if you want the cards, great. If you get the 1 in 1,000 card, even better.
Yeah.
But I don't want any part of that.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. I do digitally. I will pre-order a digital game just to be able to play it on minute 1 when I can.
Yeah.
And then, of course, lately I've been ordering it from the Japan eShop so I can start playing the game Thursday afternoon.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about that for a second. Does the game not come over with Japanese localized at all?
It's as long as the game supports English. It's the same it's the same executable in Japan versus US. So as long as if the game comes out here, it'll have English support, and it just takes the system's default language as the game's default language. So
look at that, folks. Jesse find a way around the system.
So if it is a game that's Japan only, say like an obscure Fire Emblem game,
yeah,
that will be in Japan only.
Right.
And then I can still buy it and download it, but it'll be in Japanese. But but anything that's released worldwide will have English support, and it'll be the same executable no matter which region you download it from.
That's fair enough. Very cool. All right. Hoots asks a question. He says, "What are your thoughts on jigsaw puzzles, Jesse?"
I'm not a fan. I lose patience too quick.
Yeah.
My wife likes them.
We have just similarities there.
Yeah, just like Picross is my mentally relaxing game. Yeah. Hers is this computer jigsaw.
Yeah.
She's doing that all the time.
My wife is the same. I do not like jigsaw puzzles. My wife, she finds it like very relaxing. So if she's kind of going through a stressful time at work or whatever, she'll take like the kitchen table, or we actually have like a card table that you can unfold and fold up, and she puts out a jigsaw puzzle and we'll just like watch TV and work on that. It's as if she's like 80 years old. But she loves it, and like it just like focuses her mind and lets her do those things. I don't, and so she'll be like, "Oh, you guys come do a jigsaw puzzle with me." I will do the border. I can figure out the border. As soon as you get outside the border and start going into the guts of it, I am horrible at that, but she loves it. And as a matter of fact, one of our friends actually has like a jigsaw pub race group that she joins. So hear me out. It's like a Sunday afternoon. You go to a pub at like 2 o'clock and they have jigsaw races and you have a team that you show up with and everybody has the same jigsaw. And they're like on the count of three, 1, 2, 3. And they flip open the jigsaw and you have to build it and you're racing against other teams to complete your jigsaw. And I think like if you win, like you're the team that wins, you get like a, I don't know, gift certificate for food or something like that, or drinks. But I was like, that sounds like I'm there for the drink. That would be great. But my wife was like, I want to do that. I want to go one of the times they need someone, to the point where they're like, if someone's absent, call my wife and we will drive for the 3 hours to join this thing. But so yeah, she likes jigsaws. So
yeah, I remember my mom used to like jigsaw when I was a kid, and she was a big Trivial Pursuit player.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember that game.
Yeah.
I think there's one jigsaw she did. I think it took her 2 or 3 months to finally do it because of how much blue is in it. The puzzle is the Trivial Pursuit board, full size, one to one. And when she was done with it, she had it framed and she actually used it in playing games.
That's incredible. Wow. Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. Last question. Beer Cerveza asks, what is one piece of Nintendo history, hardware, or memorabilia that you would like to see in the new Nintendo Museum? Marty provided that he'd said he would like the Golf War Game Boy. That's a great example. That used to be at the Nintendo shop. When we were actually there in November of last year, we asked where it went. They had said, the clerk had said they had actually shipped it to Redmond, and it was in kind of a museum or a display case there. And then Tim says all iterations and prototypes of previous systems. Jesse, what is something that you would like to see there?
I'll have to think about it still, but the prototypes in previous systems would have been my answer. Like Video Game 5 or something, where their old Pong machines, things like that. All the retro tech. I can't really think of anything better than that.
I would like to see, and I don't know if it exists, but I would like to see some original sketch, notepads that Shigeru Miyamoto would have done when designing like some of the original levels for Mario. Like it's still on paper, it's still pencil drawn. You're blurring that out. What is that? Wario Land? Virtual Boy?
Virtual.
Nice.
I would have said Virtual Boy, but now that I actually own one, I'm like, okay, it doesn't seem as special anymore.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people don't. I've never seen one.
Yeah. So I would say like the originals, and I would also say like some type of in memoriam wall for like Iwata, I think would be pretty cool.
Oh, that's a good one.
That would highlight some of the amazing contributions that he had as well. Yeah. Anything else you got there? Yeah, you're like, okay, you can have that one. That's yours.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jesse, I think that's it. I think that's it for
our
show. We're not 3 hours long. This is incredible. All it takes is for us to lose a host, and we lose about 45 minutes per host. And look at that. It's an hour and a half show.
Yeah, lose 2 hosts this week, and
gain 90 minutes of your life back. You're welcome, folks. Listen, we're gonna jump out of here in a couple moments, but I do want to just run through our chat again. Hey, Crimson Streak Mark, thank you for being here as well. I do appreciate you. Big thanks to all the folks over on YouTube and Twitch who join in our chat and our conversation. It's always great to have some audience participation, and so we greatly appreciate that. Sorry we were not able to pay as much attention to you guys as we normally do. Typically there's 3 or 4 of us, so it allows for one of us to kind of manage the chat and take a look at it. But man, we sure do appreciate you being here as well. All right, let's jump into the final. Oh my gosh, this laptop is like, I don't want to make it. All right, I'll get here. Hold on. Here we go. Big thanks to our Patreon producers. That's Dave Ernsberg and Jacqueline Amira, who was with us last week. We're big thank you for that. And for over our 90 plus patrons who support us every single month as well. Next, a big special thank you to the 20 plus Twitch subscribers. And that has now put us at over 1,419 Twitch followers. And a big shout out to our 6,952 YouTube subscribers. Hey, you want to do me a big favor? If you're over there watching any of our content or videos, if you haven't clicked the like or subscribe button, please do that. We are really pushing close towards 7,000 subscribers on YouTube, and we love your help. Also, our good friend Casey over the who's been working behind the scenes, is now actually doing a lot of YouTube shorts for us as well. So we've got a bunch of short form content out there as well. So a ton of content being pushed out on YouTube. Please check that out. Click like, subscribe. Make sure that's in your feed. We are putting out so much content. We'd love for it to hit your eyeballs, which we greatly appreciate. Hey, you're looking for more Nintendo Dads content, head over to nintendodads.org, and you're going to find all kinds of podcast feed that include our shows such as the Game Pass News, Dads After Dark, Retro Logic family of podcasts, which includes Retro Logic, On Topic Retro Groove, and Film Logic. And of course, you can check out our latest YouTube videos I was just talking about there, plus our tweets or whatever it is called on X as well. Also, it has all of our links to our social media, Patreon, and Extra Life pages. And by the way, if you like some sweet Nintendo Dads merch, you can purchase it there as well. Don't forget to check out our sponsor. That's manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping when you use that promo code NINDADS, NINDADS, for 20% off and free shipping. Hey, and if you want to contact us, the Nintendo Dads, at anything you like the show, you got some feedback, you want to provide us your opinion on something, hey, you can do this in a couple ways. You can head over to email us at nintendodads@gmail.com, or you can call in and leave us a voicemail at 92925-NDADS. That's 929-256-3237. Big thanks to OC Remix for the music throughout the show. And of course, folks, ladies and gentlemen, you want to help us out one more way. Maybe you're like, hey, I don't have any bucks to throw your way. That's fine. I don't have any Twitch subs to throw your way. That's fine. Here's what I'd love you to do. This costs you absolutely nothing. Head over to your favorite podcast catcher of choice, whether that's Apple or wherever it is. And if you could give us a 5-star review and just say, hey, I love this show, or Justin's amazing, or Jesse is the best employee ever, or I hope that Marty gets out of that barbecue sauce, and I hope that the Beavers just give back Tim, you damn Beavers. We would greatly appreciate that. And ladies and gentlemen, that's called a callback, where I've called back the original joke early in the show.
I see.
Nice.
I like callbacks.
There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could do that, we'd appreciate it. For myself, for Jesse, thank you so much for being here. Reminder, we have a bonus episode coming up soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
What's wrong with you?